on such an important occasion. And I think the subject that we are going to speak about, which is young business leader, is going to be, I think, is an important and hot subject for all the countries of the world. I think the G20 and the G8 have it as a priority. Young entrepreneurs, youth unemployments are today, I think, a priority for every country. The increasing demographics are something that everybody has spoken about earlier in other panels. And I would like to start by giving you an idea of what we want to discuss. And I think later, after my colleagues here are going to also give a few points, we would like to open a more proactive panel, as we, I think, have decided. I would like to define young business leaders in the GCC as successful achievers against all odds. I think where they have achieved today and the possibilities for them to achieve with the scarce, if I may say so, opportunities are, of course, as far away as we can see. There are many opportunities in the GCC. However, availability of know-how and other points are not as easy. I'm going to quickly go through a few of the points I have jotted. These are my personal opinion on the challenges that these young business leaders face before they do become business leaders. First of all, demographics. We said 50% of the society. I just heard in the previous that they were talking about 150 million jobs in the next 10 years. I don't know how they're going to do it. Another of our challenges is that 80% of our workforce are non-locals. That is in Saudi Arabia, but the GCC countries are not far behind. Everybody's trying to reach a 40% national workforce, which I think is absolutely fair as a country. I think we have a lot of pressures from many other organizations, such as the International Labour Organization and some UN organization, thinking that this might be a slightly discriminative in picking and choosing. And I heard a few of the speakers also say that nationalities should not be the point that we press. However, a number such as 80% of our workforce are non-locals. This I do not think should be allowed. There should be a fair way and a justice in a way how do we transfer the knowledge, how do we share these jobs, how do we share opportunities. The GCC is going to create new jobs. So this is where young business leaders are going to come in. We create entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs, and then we will create jobs, and these jobs could be shared. However, these entrepreneurs are lacking practical skills. They spoke about it in the previous panel. Practical skills for us as business people, we do need the practical skills. Education is amazing. As the gentleman, Dr. Christian, has said, education, yes. Universities, yes. PhDs, no. Jobs require practical skills. I am more than happy to take a vocational training in the job who will have the personality, therefore the behavior to be able to run and be productive for me. Most of the jobs in Saudi Arabia are given to unskilled workers that are coming from other countries. However, these unskilled workers and these SMEs that we have in the GCC, most of the businesses are SMEs like everywhere else in the world. However, these SMEs have low efficiency, low growth, little innovation, and weak management. The problem is this is creating inadequate work environment. This inadequate work environment is due to, and also they pay low salaries, low wages, creating unskilled workers. Here, changing this and giving these jobs to locals is going to be extremely difficult. Locals have high expectation. And these high expectations are not only due because they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. However, I think as anywhere else in the world, youth expect to have the best jobs available. And best jobs available require the best environments. And best environments are no more the environments that these SMEs are providing. The thing is, today what the government's trying to do is they're trying to quickly apply new regulatory, there's a lot of regulation reforms. The regulation reforms are supposed to improve these standards. You have reforms on the working hours, reforms on health and safety, which will improve the working environment for these youth, as well as benefits. All of these should create SMEs that might be more competitive into the global and also foreign investors that come in. These words are going to, hopefully, these plans will incentivize young Saudis to move into these jobs. Vocational training, yes, we do have vocational training, but as we were discussing previously, the vocational training is not helping the cultural change. Young people need to change in their culture in accepting these jobs. However, the culture cannot only be changed at university level. Culture has to be changed in high school and in early years. Young kids are born when they are toddlers. Me, as a mother of 4, I can tell you, they love to be an electrician. They love to be a policeman. They love to be anything you dress them up to be. I do believe that dressing up a person in a work environment is extremely important. Young Saudis have proved to love to work in McDonald's. McDonald's has nothing to offer in that job. It does not require a genius to work in McDonald's. However, McDonald's gives them minimal skill learning. It gives them training. It dresses them up. They look good. They're proud of being in McDonald's. A lot of the SMEs in the GCC do not offer this for our young people. Our young people I am talking about are my kids, my sons. I expect more to be given to them. People, I am impressed, and it's boggling for me how people in the Far East, yes, it is tough to be able to move and migrate from your country and come into the GCC, completely new culture, and live in such conditions. However, they were prepared since childhood to leave the family and move and travel into another world. Countries like India, countries like the Philippines have prepared their children to travel to work in other countries. So they will come and they will have the hardship of missing their families, being away from home. Saudi youth are not, or I think other GCC youth, are not used to traveling. These are also cultural challenges that we have. Our youth find it very difficult to move from one region within the same country, from one city. Our youth find it difficult to move from Jeddah to Riyadh. People in Riyadh find it difficult to move back to Jeddah. These challenges are also challenges that are not foreseen in other countries. Another thing, availability of funds for these young people. Yes, there are funds. We have no problem, because I read in a lot of the studies saying, there is a fund problem for business. I do not think there is a fund problem. We have many funds. In Saudi, as Suad here will tell you, even in the UAE, in Qatar, everywhere there are amazing funds. There are angel investors, there are seed money, there's everything you need. However, our youth do not know how to be able to reach these funds. The processes are not clear. They do not know exactly. Know-how and the knowledge is extremely important. And that's because we're not used to practical. We're not used to going and seeking for what we actually is available around us. The other thing is the ignorance of where to get it from, and then the steps to be able to become a business leader is extremely difficult. The steps are unclear. They tell you, you create a feasibility study, do a business plan, and then you'll become a business leader. Well, I'm very sorry. I don't know how to. They give us a template and say, fill up this is your feasibility study. If you fill up this business plan template, then you're a business leader. Templates cannot be photocopied, templates cannot be duplicated. Templates need to be created within the same area. We need to understand that these young youth need to learn how they're going to sit and prepare for these feasibility studies. Much more should be done. We cannot also duplicate from other countries and say, oh, it's an amazing program. In the US, it worked. They have over 2,000 entrepreneurs come out of this program. It will not work in the GCC. It has to be adapted to the GCC need. People in the GCC, a lot of these programs have taken the background of these people. They have different experiences, different ideas. They depend on what kind of upbringing they're going to have, what kind of education they got in high school, in early, what kind of culture they come from. If we do not take all these points into consideration, the programs will not be fit for these young youth we have. If you sit for our youth, yes, they have the ambition, yes, they have the motivation. No, they are not lazy. You need to motivate them to be able to be more productive. I feel we do not motivate them enough. Now, the other thing, once I have established a few of the challenges that we are facing to create more business leaders, I would like to say what are the challenges I have seen with some foreign investors that come. Foreign investors look at the GCC as today, with the economical state around Europe and everywhere else in the world, focus, strategic group, what do they come out with? We have to move to where there is the money. The money is in the GCC. We, thank God, touch wood, are doing well economically. These foreign investors come into the GCC, they want fast money, fast in, fast out. This cannot survive. Today, we have decided this will not be acceptable. We want joint ventures. We want partnership. We want long-term partnership. Long-term partnership are the only way where we can actually be able to work together and then maybe distribute the profits as well as distribute the losses. But working together, the foreign investor has the knowledge, the technical knowledge. We have the culture, we have the know-how, we have the way to maneuver within this maybe different kind of culture for a lot of the people. The differences we have, when you talk about the differences as weaknesses in the GCC countries, I do not think should be thought of as weaknesses. They should be thought of as challenges, because we need to understand who is the GCC personality to be able to understand the GCC person's individual's behavior. These foreign companies are more than welcome to come. I think success stories for young business leaders is in joint ventures with clear agreements, responsibilities, and then from there I think we can. The foreign investors have big responsibilities. I mean, we talk about CSR every other day. We say CSR is an important thing. Every foreign country seems to be talking about Saudi women and their opportunity. Is it a fair human rights, women's rights? Do they give it? Do they not give it? Why don't they participate? Let's not talk about it. Let's start participating in how we're going to make this difference. And another way of possibly making a difference is creating as was explained, a value chain. I think listening to Dr. Jörg Hofstetter, who is the Assistant Professor of Management, Chair of Logistics Management at University of St. Gallen, as I said, is going to be talking about the value chain and how this value chain could actually help in the work in the GCC.